What I'm about to share with all of you in a few moments contains very personal and very intimate details about my childhood, around my relationship with food, and around body image. So I have an informal creative director, and hopefully all of you will humbly help me to hold the space as I journey through my story. So here goes. Some of us eat to live, and many of us live to eat. It was the burgers, the pizzas, the satay, the chicken rice that added flavor to my life. And I remember as a child growing up, I would look forward to my mom buying carbonara pasta for me every other day from school. Hawaiian pizzas with pineapples on top. Either you hate them or you love them. And the chocolate ice cream. And as a young child growing up in an Asian traditional household, of course, I was brought up with the ethic of not wasting food. So I had to finish every single bit. In addition, most of what I've learned or was taught was in equations. 1 + 1 = 2. 2 × 2 = 4. And that also applied to how I saw life as well. And I knew that if I wanted success and more opportunities, I needed to first be a good student. Because good student equals good grades. And good grades equals a good job. And good job opens the doors to more opportunities. I simply bulldozed my way through those high-pressure moments because I thought I would be getting something at the end of the day. But in the end, it was more suffering, panic attacks, and burnout episodes. Somehow, it didn't really add up. Did 1 + 1 = 2? And so because I simply bulldozed my way through those high-pressure moments, I was praised and earmarked for having high potential. I was booked on business class flights at work, and I could afford luxury goods. I thought I was making it right, but I had been rewarded for my own wrong actions. Eventually, I aggravated my own mental unwellness. And to make things worse, the weight and the acne comments from childhood tormented me. You are too fat. You have thunder thighs. And your face is like the surface of the moon. And to a 10-year-old kid like that, it was marginalizing, it was humiliating, it was crushing. My inner child was telling me that being fat equals defective. Being fat equals unlovable. And being fat equals I needed to fix my weight to become thin, because thin is beautiful. Little did I know, I'll be inching closer and closer to self-destruction. One day I was just having dinner with a friend at a steakhouse, and it was quite a classy one. And I saw the ribeye in all its glory, and I wolfed it down. It was so yummy. But after that, I felt this insatiable urge to purge. So I excused myself, I went to the bathroom, did a thing, and then I came back. I had to hide it, right? I had to mask it. Because how am I supposed to tell my friend that I just flushed a $100 piece of steak down the toilet bowl? So one episode led to an entire series. Again and again, I would be triggered. My mind would say no, but the body would do its own thing, eating, binging, uncontrollably. I would see food, and it would trigger a rush of cravings to my head. My saliva glands would pop, and an insatiable impulse would wash over me. And I would then uncontrollably binge on large amounts of food in secret, followed by self-induced vomiting. And the entire cycle will repeat over and over again. It was like the itch you had to scratch. I was bombarded every single day with triggers as well, because I was working for a company that ironically dealt with food packaging for processed snacks like the Lay's that you just had downstairs and junk food. I was bombarded every single day with triggers, and I felt I had no choice. I also added rituals for control, eating clean, calorie count. That was a food I prepared and brought to work. Declined lunch invitations, weighed myself over and over again obsessively. This was the comfort that I relied on, the safety. And just like how I ate clean compulsively, I also exercised compulsively. The running, the power yoga, the high-intensity HIIT workouts, I did them all. And the World Health Organization recommends that a healthy individual exercises 2.5 hours a week. I was doing 2 to 3 times of that. Because I also had a mistaken equation. That was movement and exercise equals burning of fat and a reduction of weight on the scale. And that meant happiness. And the lower the number got on the weighing scale, the more compliments I got from people around me, and that fueled a vicious cycle I couldn't get out of. That's not all. In my quest for perfection, I turned to slimming treatments that promised me miraculous quick fixes so that I could fit into the next pretty dress. And my friends would ask me, "Isn't that painful?" And I can say that mental torture is far worse than the physical pain I had to go through. But the most painful reflection came when I stood in front of the mirror. Eventually, I hit the targeted weight of 45 kilograms, and I achieved it, but at what cost? When I looked into the mirror, my inner child was still telling me that I was fat, defective, and unlovable, and that there was something else I needed to fix. The purging never stopped. My period didn't come for 7 months. And I was so tired. I had lost all my energy. Who knew that years of chasing after the coveted number on the scale will result in bulimia nervosa and body dysmorphic disorder? I was lonely and I was dying inside. And my childhood memories of eating food happily grew further and further away from me as I craved for acceptance. I had lost my innate eating ability. And the hardest thing I ever had to do in my life, it wasn't birthing the 2 beautiful children I had at home. It was learning the simple acts of eating again. But yet, in the darkness, there was a glimmer of hope. And she came in the form of my therapist. She was the calm amidst my storm. She was gentle and assertive. And she gave me the strength to embark on my journey of healing. And with her guidance, I had 2 choices. 1, continue on that path of self-destruction and potentially lose my life. Or 2, embark on an intentional journey of healing not just my physical health, but my broken spirit. And I'm so glad I'm standing here today because of the choice I made. Eight years on from the point of diagnosis, I can share my story, but there's still so much to be done. Did you know that 1 in 5 women struggle with disorder eating? This also impacts 22% of adolescents and youth these days. Can we also please stop with the fat shaming and weight teasing? Because the impact can last more than 2 decades later. Less than 6% of us that are clinically diagnosed are actually medically underweight. And the rates in males are increasingly faster than in females. When we look at life's laws of suicidality, 31% of those diagnosed with anorexia nervosa have attempted suicide, followed by 21% for bulimia nervosa and 21% for binge eating disorder. When we look at populations like youths who identify as LGBT+, they are 4 times as likely to attempt suicide. Every 52 minutes, one person dies as a direct consequence of an eating disorder. Our time together for this TEDx session is 3 hours. We can do the math together. That's more than 1 person every single hour. Something closer to home. For those that are diagnosed, out of 100% diagnosed, 1.6% seek treatment. 1.6%. And many of us know that the pink ribbon is associated with breast cancer awareness movement. Did you know that the lilac ribbon is also associated with eating disorders? And that's the reason why I'm dressed in lilac today. A show of hands, how many of you secretly think you know someone that may be struggling with this? There are a couple of things that help me to heal. And the first would be professional support. My therapist asked me, Michelle, where do you see yourself 5 years from here? And I realized it wasn't about the career goals or the lofty life aspirations I had. I just wanted to be happy and healthy and not in misery like I was at that point. And with her guidance, she has also inspired me to embark on this journey of being a therapist. The practices of mindfulness and self-compassion has helped me to forgive, to accept, and to relearn how to love myself again. I learned how to stop beating myself up. I learned how to stop seeing the world in black or white. And I learned how to finally stop seeing the world in equations. And just like the Japanese concept of kintsugi, where we mend broken objects with gold, I learned how to embrace the beauty in my brokenness. And lastly, even in those times of darkness, I saw a glimmer of hope at the end of the tunnel. And I'm so glad I held onto them tightly. Today, there is still a lack of research and advocacy globally. And the number of people that I know that are still battling through this far outweighs those that have lived to tell the tale. So here I am, standing, hoping to spark a change, because I know it takes so much to create impact. I was very lucky. My life was never endangered that I required medical intervention or transfusions, nor did I ever think about ending my life. But for others, they may not be so lucky. For those that have been battling for a really long time or from childhood, this could be a lifelong or losing battle. And as a mom of 2, I am fearful. My children, our children, are being brought up in a world with impossible beauty standards. Perhaps it starts with us and to fellow parents and adults. Could we instead help our children create more memories worth loving? Perhaps it might be starting with reparenting ourselves, to do that inner work so we are able to create and review the memories of love, joy, and curiosity and pass them on to the next generation. So you may ask, am I 100% confident with my body today? What do you think? I would want to say yes, but I'll be lying. The truth is, I'm still a work in progress. And some days the inner critic is so loud. But what I've learned over the past few years boils down to one thing, and that is compassion. To embrace the parts of me that don't recognize or don't reconcile with the core of me and walk alongside them. And in those moments where they need me the most, to bring those shattered parts together to heal. After all, being perfectly imperfect makes us even more beautiful, isn't it? Now, if you excuse me, here's to me today for confronting my fears and my pains and being completely okay with it.
Yeah.
Thank you.